welcome to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. Go for good times, go for GoMart. With me, I have head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, happy to be back. Nice little shout out to GoMart there.
All right, Coach, going to jog your memory a little bit. Before the break, you faced off against Salem. You made quick work of them. I believe it was 23 minutes in a dual match. Just your thoughts on that win a few weeks ago.
Yeah, take a little tidbit from Coach Skiles there is it served a purpose, right? And so, we got that one in there, helped some of our guys out with the national rankings, got some of our guys down to the weight that we wanted them to for the first time to kind of see them, and was able to keep our guys a little bit longer with something on the horizon, right? Not just here training aimlessly for a week after Midwest, half of our guys are competing, and so that was nice. But again, overall, I thought the Salem duel really served a purpose. Was happy with the results. I think maybe 50-0, 51-0, something like that. Wrestled well. I felt like we were aggressive, was in better shape in most of the matches, and was looking to score points. And so, again, that's what we want to do, and that'll lead right into, hopefully this coming weekend. We're taking a big group up to Fairmont on Saturday in an open tournament, a lot of our non-starters, and then, we'll be back here with our starters for a big quad meet. So we'll see. We got practice tonight at 5:30. We'll see kind of who did the right things over break, who didn't. I worked out last night for the first time, 10 days, and I felt horrible. So hopefully the guys, they have something to be training for. Didn't do that. If they did, today's going to be pretty crappy. And so, hopefully everyone's still in pretty solid shape and did the right things, kept their weight down. And this week isn't half of the week them getting back into it, and we can hit the ground running tonight.
And you mentioned the break. Do you feel like it comes at a good time as you get ready to amp things up? Because you mentioned the quad this weekend, a lot of really good teams. Do you feel like it came at a good time?
Yeah, I like it. It's probably served more of a purpose in the past for us when we were a little more banged up. We kind of got out of Midwest really healthy, which is hard to do. But yes, it is a great time. I think overall to that question is yes, that break is a really good time for wrestling. But that's how the schedule is around that, right? So yeah, I'm happy to get that little break. Get a mental reset. I think more than anything, maybe at this time of year, you might need a little mental reset, right? Get away from it all. Take advantage of that. Hopefully they did that. They spent time with their families and wasn't out, being hoodlums and doing stupid stuff back home with their friends. And so, yeah, I like the timing of the break. I think it'll be good for us, even for the guys that had little nicks and bruises, to get 100% healthy coming to this week and then kind of hit the ground running with January. January's a good, tough month of wrestling for us, and then it leads right into that February 1st Mountain East Conference Tournament. And
to start out January, you have the Glenville State Quad this coming weekend on Sunday. I mean, it's a tough one. Lander's number 8 in the country. Grand Valley State comes in at number 12, and Gannon at number 22. Just your expectations with that meeting, just your thoughts on bringing all those tough teams in to start off the new year.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I wanted to bring good wrestling to Glenville, and that's what this was about. And it kind of started with Lander. We go down there every year, and the coach was, me and him were just kind of talking at nationals, and he was like, "Hey, I would like to get down there and do something. If you'll set up a quad or something that makes it worth it, because it's a long drive, right?" So I kind of got on it, and I think I got Gannon in second, up at maybe U23s in the summer. And so just slowly started to try to piece that thing together and got Grand Valley last. And yeah, it's going to be a really tough day. You said, Lander's 8, Grand Valley's 12, Gannon's 22nd.
Yeah.
I'd say Gannon's probably the better team out of all those, to be honest, in my opinion. I think that Gannon's underperformed a little bit at Midwest. And I think Tom, their coach, Boyd, would tell you that they didn't have their best tournament at Midwest, but they got a pretty solid team up and down. A couple holes, and that happens. Lander's young, but as always, they're the two-time returning runner-up, the national tournament. So they're coached well, and even with them being down a little bit this year, 8 is still high for them right now.
Good.
So they're a well coached team. You're going to have to bring your A game against them. Same with Gannon, and then same with Grand Valley. Now Grand Valley is what a story that is. They're like us, where they're a second-year program and 12th in the country, and they got a bunch of studs. And now they did a little bit different than we did. Technically they're a third. They did a full year of competing in club, and so that kind of helped them, right? Looking back on it, we probably should have did that during COVID, but I was 24 and excited.
Yeah,
and,
you can't control COVID either.
Yeah,
so.
and we kind of had the talk about it, but man, I wanted to wrestle.
Yeah.
I wanted to get those guys in there and get it going, and we didn't have money, Grand Valley has, either. So
a little different.
But those are 3 tough teams. They're all coached really well. I really respect all 3 coaches. They bring a lot of different things and flair. So I think it's going to be a good day. We're going to try to wrestle multiple guys still, because we want to try to stay as healthy as we can, because the big one's the week after at National Duels, right? Yeah. And so the Grand Valley duel, to be honest, I don't know if we're really going to try to win that duel. I say that, and it might not make sense, but we're not going to wrestle all 10, right? Because Grand Valley, we got a possibility of seeing them again right off the bat at National Duels, right? And so, and they're also in our region, and we've also wrestled their guys a couple times. So it kind of starts getting counterproductive for us to go and wrestle someone 4 times and beat them 4 times, but also give them 4 chances and looks at our guys. Yeah. So we're probably going to throw our starters at the Lander and Gannon duel. And then, don't get me wrong, we're still going to try to win the duel. Probably the wrong wording on that. We're just not going to be wrestling all 10 of our guys, right? There's going to be a little bit more picking and choosing in that one, just because, 1, we've already wrestled them a lot individually. 2, we wrestle them again, most likely, right, next week, right after this anyway. So that one's going to be a little different, but, I still think if we wrestle well, that we can come away with 3-0 on the day. You always got to think that and trust in your guys. So we'll see this week how they kind of respond, and more than anything, I hope that it's good wrestling all around, which I know it should be, right? So,
all right, Coach. We appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show, presented by GoMart. With me, I have head men's basketball coach Bob Bolen. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Jagger.
All right, I'm going to jog your memory a little bit as well. You're coming off a 92-69 win at Malone. Freshman Don Colon Lewis had 25 and 14. Amar Maxwell finished with 16, and then Prince Masingo had 12, and Kinsler with 11. Just your thoughts overall on the victory.
Well, those freshmen, all 3 of them, have really been playing well for us this season, and Donnie got hot the first half, and our guys did a good job of setting picks for him, and our point guards did a good job of finding him, and he really shot the ball in the basket. And then Amar Maxwell, he played his typical game that he's played all year: tough, strong, physical. And I know the people that score the points get the credit, but if you look down that stat sheet, Gus Eddy came off the bench and had 8 assists and 1 turnover. So we got major contributions from a lot of people. And you just hate to take 11 days off after, a great performance like that. And, we have to figure out a way to take that time off, get back here in the gym, and be ready to play our second semester games.
And you mentioned that this coming Saturday you'll host Penn State Mont Alto. What have you seen so far out of them when you look at them? Well,
they're 10-2, and they got a lot of guys back last year, and it was a 5-point game. We beat them 70-65 last year, and although they're a lower classification, they're at the top of that classification, and they got 4 and 5 man that easily could play for us. I mean, they're very talented, very skilled, very well coached, and we're going to have to come out here ready to play. And I don't think that's one where your guys are going to underestimate them, because we have returning players that saw the game last year and know how competitive it was, and we have a lot of respect for their program.
And you mentioned the 11-day break, and though Penn State Malto, like you said, is one of the better teams of a lower classification, they still are a lower classification. So when you were making the schedule, was this kind of a game you wanted to schedule where you're not playing, let's say, Davis and Elkins right out of the break? Is this a team that you wanted to play out of the break?
Not really. I mean, it's just, once we start conference play second semester, I like only playing Wednesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And we play every Wednesday and Saturday the rest of the year, starting this Saturday. So, we needed a game January 4th, and it needed to be a non-conference, and I didn't care if it was Penn State Fed, Penn State Mount Otto, Seton Hill. That was just one of the dates where we had an opening, and we just, we tried to schedule all strong non-conference teams, and like I said, we know what type of a game it was. Maybe I would have liked to play at Antioch High School or somebody like that, but no, not putting Penn State Mount Otto in that. We had 6 open dates we were trying to fill, and that's just the one that they could come to. And once this one's over, that's it for non-conference. Everything the rest of the year's conference. I know some of those schools will slide a non-conference game in on a Monday.
Yeah.
And I just don't like to do that. I like to finish the season all Wednesday and Saturdays, and you have it's almost like football. You have your days of the week of what you're doing and how you're preparing, and we'll go at it like that.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this Saturday.
Thank you, Jagger.
Get ready to hit the road with GoMart. Each month, we're featuring a special item to fuel your journey and score you bonus reward points in our Road to Rewards promotion. Each purchase earns you a token, so load up and keep cruising toward big rewards. Plus, the top 25 token earners each month will receive 5,000 additional bonus reward points. Check the GoMart app to see this month's featured item. And as always, earn additional savings on products store-wide with reward member exclusives. Go to GoMart.com for more details.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaching Show presented by GoMart. With me now, I've had women's basketball coach Emily Stoller. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, Coach, you're back from the break. It's a tough one to come out of the break. You got Carson Newman on the road, top 10 team in the country. You beat them last year, 76-68 in the Waco Center. What have you seen at them so far this year?
Yeah, I think, with the long break that we've been given here with Christmas and we've really had time to sit down as a coaching staff and really look to see, kind of what they're doing that's special, that separates them and, puts them up there in the rankings in the nation. Really, really good half-court team. I think that they play really well together. They have a lot of team chemistry. They have almost every offensive set you could think of in the game of basketball in the book that they run to a T. So really, really good, well-coached team and program. And it's going to be a tough matchup for us. It was here last year. Thankful to come out with a win last year on our home floor. It's going to be a little bit tougher environment to play in. 6-hour bus ride. We're playing on New Year's Day, and not going to get to watch the ball drop, unfortunately, but we're going to get to have a basketball game on New Year's Day to start the new year, so we're excited for it.
And the last time you played was December 15th against Frostburg State. You won that 87-83. It's going to be a little bit over 2 weeks when you play on Wednesday since the last time you played. Do you like the break right now, or do you wish you could have kept playing after beating Frostburg? Yeah,
I think, it's a really quick turnaround, with only being able to practice a few days here when we've gotten back to it. I think the girls are really amped up and excited. They got to go home and get that 6 to 7 day window to rejuvenate and to relax their mental spaces and to hang out and be around family. And we had a lot of girls homesick near the holiday, and I think that was some much needed time for them to get back. And we had a great practice today. Great effort, and everyone had high energy. So I'm really excited going into it. I think it's going to be a really fun trip for us as a team. I think it's going to make us a lot closer. With how much time we're spending with each other over the New Year's, and excited to play some really good basketball against a really, really good team.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you so much.